Hello, welcome to this moment. Now we're sharing in this time space how we're moving. On the month of April of 2026, we have for the first week the vibe, the word connection. For the second, insights or within. An astrologer Theodore mentioned. So initiation, and we're on a Saturday. I am on the channel of Tech Globe Map for each nation to gather its strength and understanding to all the values they have to take care. We are having a connection among nations and cultures and streams of values and investments with and against and in between. So some people have brought the word stability. Um, it brought my attention when the Pope Leo mentioned a power that's been suppressed to allow it to, yeah, come out. So I was thinking, what a beautiful word power is when it's in good hands, when it comes in good hands. Um, I'm thinking just being receptive to what is more important. You can always see the power within the vibe. It feels powerful, it looks powerful in the constitution, the formation, and the scenario as well. So, am I talking to the majority of people that look to the image of a person or society, which is 80%, comes first through our visual, the image of our imagination we share through, and that's what distinguish some from others within the natures of all this all this variety of creation we have. But if you really look at what we're going through in this frame of time space on this movement is not made to have stability, but a deep transformation, not only of those who are there, but also of you. And you might be moving, and you might have been uncomfortable, and you might find that you are not sexy enough to create more connection, or that many people love you, but at the same time, you like to keep that connection. You keep indicating with whatever it is you see, the planets, the flowers, your followers, the others, your past. What image is it that you portray to the people throughout your history? Why people don't see you as the person you are today? Or do you really believe that you are that? So, well, I have many people on mind, and we are sharing also an image within of our being. And in this connection, we are transforming. This is the point. I have been asked to role play a villain many times to open many verses. And I thought, well, what you got? Like, so I study it for 3 months. I really care for the verse, all right? So I am not concentrated on who I am and what is it that I need when I'm role playing with characters. I'm studying the verse, I'm studying the history of that verse, and many times even studying the writer, its political streams, where it came from. Was it born poor? Does it have a connection to the people? That this changes a lot, yeah. There are many characters that are high class, but they like to make love with normal people, right? And they love the connection with the poor class because they're more normal and natural than the middle class, who struggle to be accepted as high class and still are questioning who they are, right? In their search of having this ongoing quest for validity. Yes, because in their minds, they will be valued if they have this validation. So it takes many lives to understand that, or many characters throughout the multiverse to feel the wall, not just as a spectator watching a movie or watching other people's books, YouTube's, which more or less is the same. But what is it that we are creating in between, that we are transforming? So, stability is very beautiful to have a structure, of course, but we are not here initiating a structure as such. We are initiating a new generation, a new form of being and sharing with so many dynamics. I mean, if you've been a sport person that's played so many sports or games, yeah, games, you go read the rules. The first thing you do is you read the rules of the game because you're all going to play under the same rules, right? In the same way, the formation of each verse in the multiverse or culture is created. You don't go to another country and impose your style. Yeah, you could, but you would be an outcast or, oh, from the other part of the world. And, there are things you can do and other things you might not, because they also like to be, like my madam said, oh, just that's my nanny awareness, just be more open-minded. Yeah. She's teaching them how to swim. All right. So I had the upper part of a uniform and lycra pants, and I said, I can't go to swim with pants, or it just sticks in my body, and the upper part was hiding my ass. All right, so uh, I had the impulse to ask for it. So there is a communication. I mean, if it's yes, yes, it's not no, it's not a big deal, right? I'm in the Middle East. The ladies are in the 7-star hotel in Dubai. The family's from Jordan. They gave me the grace to be with their toddlers. It happened to be that my children were toddlers. Um, it's I was with two twins, one brunette, the other one blonde with curls, angels. They let me play and they let me have a nanny assistant. They let me go to the beach, roll in the grass, and they were having a lot of fun watching us play. Would turn around and twirl in the sand as well. And in the swimming pool, just, do our routines that we had in their mansion as well, in the inside pool, because the outside pool was more, or when they would be ready to swim. By this, I mean that you're entering into scenario as a script writer or as a phenomena that you create when you're moving out of your scenario and you're moving into the unknown, all right? So you're looking for stability. It's like, yeah, no. We're looking into what is it that we're doing in here? Yeah? Do you want to have few followers or do you want to have multiplying throughout the world who are also allowing this rain of common sense to shower through creativity and abundance? We do have the potential. So I want to thank Donald Trump and Melania to face the adversity, which is becoming the extreme. I had it with me. Again, I'm allergic of my situation, so I'm allergic to dust and when I look around, it's just suppressing, yeah. So liberating would be the word of liberating a power. So fairness is a good word as well, and balance to stability. Because I've been listening to all these words, especially the astrologers. And I really love the words they pick because sometimes they have three themes and they say which one you pick. That was, I don't have the stability here to put all my work together because I'm not on the stage. So the more creativity I have, the more movement I have, the more change I have. So I'm relating with the creative side of you. And so I'm going in the stream of those words of stability. And this is what you work when you're doing a mediation. This is what you're doing with the other and the other with you. We need villains in stories. We need people that are going to confront. We're going to show you whom you are in the darkest side of yourself because you think you're so good and you don't realize what you're doing to yourself. So you need to watch where all this envy comes from, where all this anger comes from. You have to be pulled down into the earth and feel the tremor. Feel the foundations of all those wars and hatred towards the West. Where does it come from? They left from the foundation of civilization we had here in Babylon while we were writing in stone. So there you go. Oh, it's 1:11 on the 11th of April. Funny. So Saturday. Well, so we are communicating. We might have 2 weeks, 10 days. Now people start shouting victory everywhere. It's good Melania comes out, so people will talk about her. So they're not talking about the pause of this war. Because all this freedom of expression, and the eastern side and knows with premeditation that freedom of expression can bring down an empire by creating more hatred, right? But what if we had so much freedom of expression that we just generate more power and power through it by squeezing our juices? So yeah, powerful people. Oh gosh, our presidents think by themselves, and their people think by themselves, and we are like neurons inside a big, huge body where the highest and the lowest matter, right? So they're going to do new policies with international banking. The power of the people will believe there is justice and fairness. So there was these other words that I will bring out from the very channel and the person, even though I don't know if they're looking for followers. You don't have to listen to everything I listen. I listen to hours and hours. And people have the freedom to create. People have their love to create and share their expertise, whatever it is that they're doing on their theme. So I think that the power of love is something you can't debate. But the power of love also has created a lot of material, and through all that interpretation of the divine, through the material, that grace and beauty. And there is beauty. So I am a twisted person in the sense of, well, I see also beauty in creatures and monsters, but it's very rare I feel disgusted. Yeah, but sometimes really. Should I be just allergic instead of disgusted? So we are moving on, and it's very good. It's very good they're doing policies. What is precision? It doesn't matter how much precision you can have, or I, or the other. If the rest of our sisters and brothers don't find by themselves what is to be precise, for example, in a conversation, in a connection, what is it they're talking about? Do they know how to talk? Are they 100% on a state of trauma from the Babylon times? We don't have the female and masculine Sufis, all right? And they have castrated them and they just read their poetry. So people are it's very easy to judge Trump, Melania. It's very easy, right? It's very easy to go there and judge. And so all you need to know is that people love you. And who are the people that love you? Because you share the same field of social strata. That one day you're going to be here, but the other day not. But the average people don't believe there is justice. Many women study so much. They're wishing to marry with an intelligent man or a man that is more intelligent and powerful, yet to be capable of understanding what they're talking about and maybe bring something else as well as they inspire you back to, you know, bring that connotation. And yes, of course, it's easier to think when you're in the back, you're in the front, but there is, it has been already initiated into a form of oneness. So for me, it's easy to play characters to get this, whatever, insight, right? Insight, which is not really much of an initiation, but sort of, right? A synonymous. So I want you to play, to feel play the playfulness. I don't know what is the outcome of this month at all. So I am listening. I'm listening. I think of Jordan Peterson. How is his health? How is he doing? I wish for his good recovery. And I really also wish to heal myself, my nerve system, the way I work. My hands are red because I'm not supposed to be doing boxes on Tuesday. I don't know how many times I say it. They seem to not understand. Or maybe I just have to say it straight, which it will be rude. No. It's like they don't understand because they have their own judgments. They think to be superior. They don't understand. They don't connect with me. Yeah. They have so much gossips because they're superior. But they understand that it is dangerous if they do not listen. So there's a problem there. They might prefer to think that I am the problem. They might know very well the manager stealing and talking bad about people, having horrible WhatsApps. That is better to, have everyone threatened and having people divided in the work. They don't, they are being told to work and being gossip back and forth and threaten, if you don't do this, I won't give you more hours. If you don't gossip with me, I will take your days out of the schedule. This is not a very evolving way of working in a store, or having one person undoing all the boxes when it used to be three. Yeah, so there is the vibration of connecting. It's not really there in the construct of how we're managing things. Things as words and values. I am very grateful for the agreement to have fairness with the policies of the international core, the international values that have been held throughout the caring to and the promise throughout so many lives of praying that we have paradise on earth. I have paradise on earth. I can testify that I have absolute trust, no matter how much suffering I've gone through, that why I have prayed for, why I have become alive then. Doesn't matter that everyone has betrayed me. Like, people have betrayed you as well. And maybe I have betrayed too because of these consequences and needs. So here we are in the human coil. Yeah, we need to have a laughter. We need to celebrate beyond judgments. So we have celebration and judgments as well. Putin will like victories, another war. Europeans already feel victorious and patience. So when you have so much power, you don't look for victory. You look to the patience that you have because you wish others to also understand what it feels to be not just victorious, also patience for your people to report what they have in your own map. We're going to bring fairness, not me, but each expert on its role, and thanks God they exist to do. But let's talk also about it's not just the artificial intelligence. If we have people coming in and out with access to see what they're doing with the Ministry of War, Defense, Department of War. So what is artificial intelligence doing? We must take care globally that we are not creating autodestructive machines with artificial intelligence. All right? This is number one mission. So what war would you pick for that, right? Would you bring balance, stability, fairness, policize? I was criticized in New York City on the visual arts schools, 14th Street, Manhattan, because it was the first time the teacher of law made a class for artists, script writers, about law, 3 months, like in university for artists and script writers, all sorts of arts. So he was listening to all the class. They were already the envy of the writer is very poisonous, right? I know it. Players as well, and I always take the Mickey out of it because I have a lot of mistakes. It's not the Spanish, it's my dyslexia and my mind going so fast, right? It's going so fast, so it's a lot, and it's on a state of delusion. So when I correct it, my mind is going so fast, it's still seeing it that it's okay, it's writing well, it's delusional. My mind's totally on another state, and it has to pass 1 day or three to reread it 1 day. So my mind slows down and can be in touch with reality. So this is spell wrong. That's so many mistakes. So it can be understood what it means. Uh, my mind will have to slow down if I want to be in touch with reality. All right, not that I'm divorced from reality. It's just detach with reality, but detach. And the same would happen to you when you exercise having a lot of imagination. My friend has a lot of imagination, right? So all my role player friends have a lot of imagination. That you only listen to me is another theme. That's your Chinese point of view. All right. And I accept the point of view, of course. When we want people to create their own verse, because we cannot take care of all the verses, we are not omnipotent. We rely on other people to create theirs. So we bring villains, and that's how they get together to make more characters, then they create more. So they fight for it and then they own it, but with more awareness of the situation. You cannot co create with your people a higher state of consciousness if you castrate other senses. So I want you to understand when you are with animals, yeah, and you're with a dog, and you're like, why is so happy? He's always so happy. He wants to be out. Like when you were a child, you wanted to be out playing in the park for hours. Why you want to go there? In a jail at home again. Like I don't want to be watching TV. I don't want to be reading books. Or indoctrinated all your life in school, having to sit, and then I want to put you in home. The dog doesn't want to go home back again. I've been only 1 hour out or half an hour. You can tell when the dog is walking home, but it went through the long walk. It's been probably 3 hours walking, and yeah, they can be 20 hours standing up unless they're a lion, um, and a lioness, and it's totally satisfied. It's walking home. And when they're walking out and you see they normally don't have good walks, they just have miserable walks. Because what human being doesn't have time to walk their dogs unless they have a field for their own to come in and out? Yeah. The trust in the energy fields. Yeah. So they come out with a leash and they're pushing out, they're pushing out. It's not because they want to pee. Yeah. Because they could pee right there, and they're just pushing out and they're pushing to the leash, the collar. Yeah, and this is the people you see in Iran. I'm sorry, but you gotta listen to me as I will listen to you. I'm not listening to the people of Iran. I am only listening to shouts and uh, that they won. What did they win? You have time to talk. All right. So it's not that we are not hearing anything. We are hearing the same old story. All right. And we're sharing these worlds. And you've been questioned 10 points, 15 points. What are these points about? I can go and look at them and read them and just talk about it. But I want to listen to you. That is the most important relation we can have and connection. So what kind of animal do you want to be as a human being? I would like to know the word of next week. Why should we have to stop our creativity? What would China say about a fairness, Russia, to see the importance of not creating more wars in the future? to take care of our artificial intelligence. If you think you're gonna reborn again, how would you like your future to be? I guess I mean, you would like to be the king of the universe and think how I can take over the multiverse as well in the fantasy realms. This is never gonna end, right? So, what would it take for you to feel fulfilled? How would you do to feel that you are the king of the universe? So you have many multiverses and infinite universes out there, you know? Go take them, go take them. So as God, I don't know, just have an idea that has someone claimed this universe yet? I don't know, maybe the people of Iran wants everybody to be like them. Huh? That their women will want loyal men. I was thinking, like, I would rather be cheated by the free man or cheated. It's sort of like, I never feel cheated because another person is loving another. What I feel cheated is when my money's been taken, not when I'm giving my money consciously for the first time, because I have always taken money, so it's been agreed. All right, you give me money, all right. It's a donation, whatever. Look, as many people have supported Jesus consciously. So those are questions I have, right? I wouldn't ask the leader of Iran because I think it's in another stage right now, in another timeline. Uh, I don't know, the professor in what about the people in the world, right? So stability is a good word for next week. It had many synonymous. Another astrologer was talking about the meaning of transit. Uh, but we have one week every month or the last days of every month to talk about the transit of that space time. When you enter immediately to a stage, you will see that you have that time space. And with the other character, more or less you have 3 seconds, 1 second, and a split of a second to see how is it gonna end up, or how many chances you got there on an abstract random way to see if you're going to be with this character and go somewhere else. Most of stories get stuck and then people dissipate because they don't want to be stuck with too much stability. It doesn't allow the creativity to move. It doesn't allow the change, the metamorphosis, the value of the exchange to multiply, to flow. So, listening to the words of the Pope, of that power that needs to be freed textually, I don't remember exactly. It's not a relief from an ejaculation, as many other people have been talking about a relief. Uh, and it's very cool, direction. the direction. So you ask all the leaders from around the world if they like how you're treating your women in Iran and girls, and how if they like how many people you have murdered or your father, that you've done the same or not, we don't know, because of their freedom of expression. And you will let me know after they have talked, but you might have known already that people don't like that around the world. What you're doing to the people. These are people from the world. And we, as women, love other women to love their men because they want to. If they like to walk out and feel their hair with the wind, not be judged. We can have many lives in one life with our husband. Mostly people don't want to change, so we move on to another relationship. Otherwise, we'll be stuck with this person pseudo stability. What stability? There is no renovation without change. There isn't a better design. There is no expansion without change. So all this stability and judgment from an old regiment could be as sacred as poisonous. We need to see the genius from around the world when, for example, let's say one person in an unknown place has created a robot that can deliver the post office. Yeah. And what would the people that work in a post office do? Perhaps a mansion into a village, right? And be creating with their people and maybe just going crazy on virtual reality to and play sports, dance, learn massage. Not as Epstein, but I would have massage in the school because you can read the body, the psychology of the tensions. You can see the stagnation. Where is it? Um, if it's eating too much cake, or is too mental, and we do need the balance as well. All right. So stability, balance. You also are calibrating. That was another word that's perhaps better than the stability and balance. Calibrating. All right. Because we are on the month of April, and it has much to do with the connection and initiation we are having right now. So maybe it's closer, that is about the cover, because the scenario will come for the Pope with the word of power. That's for the scene, a scenario. Power. Thank you very much. Um, if you have another word for the next week, that maybe is calibration, calibrating, policize, policize. I like to take two years until who knows if they are going to take Trump away from his presidential status. I hope people understand and respect that you need to push someone so they wake up. All right? Wake up. Today you're alive, tomorrow you're dead. Today I'm alive, tomorrow I am dead. So, what is it that we're leaving behind? Hmm? I dreamt with my children today. There was a third person, but it was invisible. Maybe it was God. I don't know. It was there was a grace there, a presence. I always dream with my Alice and Sane, because Debbie is an adult now and married, my first daughter. When Alice was a big toddler and Sane was a little toddler. For the first time, I'm dreaming with them, and this dream we were closer than ever. So they were still like Sane was, you know, so we were just experimenting and exploring. It was sort of like swim, but it was fun. We were together, and I don't know. We went ended up in sort of a swimming pool, was going around up, and I think it was wrong, but they jumped by themselves. It was like a I don't know, like, do they know how to swim? And they could do it by themselves. And he was like, "Look, mommy, I am doing it," and Alice as well. And I was like, "God, it's I should have been there." Was very positive without judgment in the dream, which I normally have a lot of guilt and pesame for not knowing how they are and if they're okay. So I love to sleep and send them love. And I hate when a man wants to take that energy from me and it doesn't give it to me and my children because it's taking my love away from my children. So it's corrupted. I have only known one person that has seen my children in their imagination. So that's the person that I love most. It doesn't matter who it is or how, it's just love and appreciation from your heart and soul. And I'm talking in behalf of all the women around the world, creative, the woman you are born from as well, have been supported and trusted. And how I love to be born from. I love my mother and wish to be with her. And at the same time, I wish to have a girl sleeping in here because could be homeless. But at the same time, I want to have the space to just be neutral in peacefulness without any distortion taking away from them. When I walk, it's a beautiful silence, magic, magic by the nature. How do I know this nature exists? And it's been built by many people that have been before me as well. I'm bringing reindeers. put the flowers all the way. So it's also admiring the construct of a scenario that's quite powerful and beautiful. So the transition, I think, would be beauty. I used to put beauty. That can be grace as well. Um, we're moving with the worst and the best that we have to celebrate. You've been born in one way, so what else would you know? Are you that dog that has a collar and is pushing the leash? Is desperate to go out, knowing only has half an hour, pushing the leash. Yeah, it's not satisfied. Yeah, because it has a higher authority that is letting go 6 hours sometimes. And three. Well, many people have dogs and then they leave it in the shelter because they do not have the love or responsibility to take a walk. They are not in touch with their body, to be healthy. They don't have the responsibility to trust their dog or cat to be free. They have to put it in a jail as well, not only themselves, but another. And in the same way, can be a leader with its society. It's not nice. I talk about things and people don't listen to me because I look like a crazy person. I've come here without family, without my social status. For me, it's better to be in Venezuela and be along the highest class as in Spain and have all my money, my family's fortune, the friends of my family and my friends, to have had all that. It gives me credibility when I talk with people, not when I go to a homeless place to pick up food, talk about the tech globe map or atlas. Because I found this book there yesterday. It's very cute. 101. 1001 ways you can save the planet is very cute. It has like a shiny the world. It was edited on 2017, written by Joanna Jarrow in United Kingdom. All right. I came here in 2016. Uh, or 2015 on the last days of November. And Beyond Green Ltd, published by Duncan Baird, London, DBP. 2017, very beautiful, very beautiful. I'm like, wow, there's so many layers here, like from the batteries to so much information. We have so much creativity already to move on. Yeah. I would like to wear robes like in Iran, very comfortable. Not even gardening, it's not very comfortable. Uh, Maybe it is. I love the robes we used to wear in the ashram, um, everyone had the same color, maroon, because it's associated with life in the blood of vitality. Black is a color that is ugly on people unless you are in a court room or on a funeral or in the night, and it looks classy. But wearing a black robe with a black hiding, and the whole society, when women are flowers, little child looking at her mother hiding from her own society. So I would not even, as a punishment to be born, like imagine Trump and all the men from the Epstein files being born as a woman in Iran in the next life, because they might not still understand what they did. Melania Trump, when so many women strive to have a job and a position of power, and they don't have a husband because they are being mistreated for that. Women become very beautiful when men love them as a woman as well, not just for a position of power. It takes your beauty away. You cannot take care of your body for 3 hours if you're working so hard. Yeah. And having time to select your wardrobe, paying people to do that. Your mind can't be in relation. So the reality is that you see, like, you have to be perfect from day one. Then people have this image of you. Even though humans err, it's not like the people are the Pope. You see him with Macron and his wife, and the Pope receives them with gratitude and blessings because it's the Pope. He's not forgiving them for their sins, only he is accepting them as children of God as well. In the same way he will do anywhere, as in Algeria, where there are Arabs. Okay, so how do you feel? How do you feel when you give blessings to other people? Yeah, you are initiating them, you're pushing them. Because who wants to be born like a woman in Iran, right? Like, you will just be in confinement for the rest of your life. And there is nothing wrong with being beautiful and taking care of yourself. Everyone should. But people are like piranhas. I, re- I remember, it's an old memory, but it could be a delusion as well. Being in a tower, taking my crown away, and put somebody else, my son, to be king, being judged as crazy because my father hated the queen, who was his wife, and he was never treated as the king. Because that's the blood, how the bloodline goes. And he resented that the first daughter would be a queen as well. So he plotted against his own daughter. So her husband would rule. But at the same time, better his grandson. So gonna play vengeance to his own wife, but to prove he could manipulate, doesn't repress power, right? In a creative world. Don't believe my story because I don't know if it was true or not. But I know the feeling was right, right on. Um, I would be telling another person in the same confinement down below the tower for whatever other problems, also from judgments that were not true, that you will have to be perfect. You will have to be perfect. There was a lot of rage there from the hatred of being suppressed in that power for so long, suppressed in confinement from other people's judgments and gossips. I will tell this story again and again because the person that I was speaking between and was present as well, it was not because she gave herself for another, it was because she had nothing else to do, right? As the guards would be there and the people that would bring the food. How you know I like cake? Never seen this person, but just from people in between. But 24/7 for many years would be there. At the beginning with punishment to know your boundaries and limitations and go beyond suffering because of too much freedoms. But I knew that was a problem of education. The whole problem in the world is a lack of education, is a lack of practice. No one is evil. No one is bad, really. If you would know better, you walk 3 hours, 6 hours. Let your dog free as well. He will come back if he really loves you. You want to train that dog? Okay, go for it. I love to see the dogs without a leash, and they're more educated. They're not going to go there and bite you because they are educated. They can enter in the stores. They won't take over the cookies. They're more educated. Yeah, perhaps my dog ate very well in Manhattan 20 years ago and opened 3 restaurants in Chelsea because I would ask if I would pay his food, turkey or chicken breast and brown rice. So why will you have your dog hostage there? Well, he needs a walk as well. And you like to read your paper, and your dog can have the sunshine also and look at the people and rest a little bit, and perhaps with other dogs as well, to start to become friendly animal. It takes a question and a need, a personal need, where you are also with so many people that love to be free, to enjoy what this life is about. So we initiate each other and we see each other's dogs and whatever it is. So I'll tell really this person really, you have to be perfect. All these piranhas will come to judge you, to bring you down. It's not because we have to be perfect, but to sustain your place. And all you need is education. I think that's for the first time in history that I'm just talking nonsense right now. Could be true. From 500 years ago, that the spiritual reincarnation will start to believe that you did not really need to be born from a bloodline, but there is freedom and we could all have education because we've learned as well. So it doesn't matter if you were first or the other one, we're more or less there waving there. Huh? But you still have to be perfect. That was like a threat, imminent threat, because that's why I've been and you have been in jailed. It was not like, so we are not judged again. It was like, you won't be judged again. It was unconscious or conscious or premeditated or could see overall with a fight of power, right? Because what would this poor woman have to do to liberate another? The person in between saying that things that are not, but to try make it. And I thought it was evil. I thought it was evil. I really would pray to Holy Mary for decades and decades in that tower with a little window. After praying to God for my dead husband and transforming that love for my dead husband, that was an obsession. That love transformed. So I was initiated into the immortality there to pray for that. You don't have a kingdom of your own, you don't have family, you're just in a jail. You cannot write or leave a painting. I care for what the scriven would say about me and gave my best to not look crazy, just enjoy my imagination. Nobody could judge me for that as long as I wouldn't say it and sleep. Because I don't think I was meant to be a queen. I was against everything. Like Neath killing each other to prove one is stronger. I was like, what? I can't go look at that. It's just totally crazy. Call me crazy if you must. It makes no sense. Wearing their armors and going to kill each other. It's like all this. Do I have to dress with all this to go in? Because this is what the people like to do. I didn't want to rule because you create what you are. You can accept that position if you accept the rules of that game and or totally this is you want to you've been educated, you've seen that throughout many lives, served in many kingdoms, but you've been loved as a nobody, as a noble servant. because everybody betrays, everybody wants power. So it's change where unconditional love is valued because it loves you and knows whom you are in such a way that you stop being. So there is no comparison there. All this judgment is to prepare so no one, no piranha. It was really like seeing the same human nature coming out to devour you and bring you down. And this is what we're seeing now more vividly in internet. Everybody criticizing of human behavior to have more followers or less. Because you can be all gay and talking about whatever, but and love your group, and when you see it online, it doesn't look really good. That's it. You just got the ghetto to follow you. But the ghetto loves to dance, celebrate, go outside. They will say, "Yeah, we're gonna shake ourselves in our normal jobs." People are getting fired for that because not the image of Wendy's, McDonald's, or fried chicken chain restaurants in the United States. This all for the fear of being judged. So imagine the poor class not having this middle class and becoming all wealthier as the middle class, taking all this middle class out. That's what artificial intelligence can do. We can all be managers. The labor class does not need to be suppressed anymore like this, as we learn to all be managers. One month one, the other month the other, and we all manage what we're doing. And that is beautiful. But if you have all these people trying to gossip, to escalate, to pretend they're better, all this, I would rather have always the elite there, the high class and hyper high class. But the ultra has been everywhere and is conscious about it. You will see them next to you. You don't know where they come from. Maybe you know they're famous. Maybe you can also be famous in a world of freedom. And that is the beautiful power we have that we celebrate unto you as well. More than a war and death, we know death. That's the only guarantee we can give each other. We are going to die. We can cheer up to celebrate and have a longer life. We can travel the world with our imagination, get to see the Persian realms and virtual reality and the fantasy, go to another multiverse where perhaps they have other roles. I can only tell you of the tissue of reality where each character is unique and you cannot change his history. Like, for example, Marvel Comics making Hela the sister of Thor and Loki, which is the daughter of Loki. It changes the whole historical, how the Nordics used to see the giants with Loki, because the giants of Loki belong to the Titans, and that's another generation before. And Hela comes like Styx is daughter of the night because they come from other sciences. That's how they used to translate through the names of gods, the science and the formation from around the world. You can go to another multiverse and make Loki gay, make Loki the brother of. It's like you can change the whole characteristics. This is, yeah, of course, freedom. Go freedom, yeah. In another multiverse where other people will just all see, just yeah, all have all the creativity you want. Go and bark, yeah, go and bark. Yes, of course. Allow your dogs to just eat on people's plate when they are in the restaurant. They're free. Go another multiverse, on another timeline perhaps. So we're learning to relate each other and connect each other and having this vibe. How do they connect? Yeah, on each scenario throughout this world as well. How are we understanding each other at the same time within the understandings of love that God has given us, which is one. One. We are making spells to break this curse that happened in Babylon thousands and thousands of years ago, where supposedly we split it from. Supposedly. In reality, there is a split. There is a great split right now. People claiming to be God of the world. Right. So Trump cannot be the God of the world either, but he does represent the Western world. And his wife Melania as well. So it dissipates what people are judging online, but the judgment remains, all right? The judgment remains. When you have people that are perfect, there is nothing to talk about them. Yeah? What are they going to judge? Well, maybe, oh yeah, scandal, or people talk about it, or people just, some people are with it, some against. Let people talk about it. We want to know what happens in Iran. They all seem to have the same page because otherwise they will be killed, right? So, explosion, crack, eruptive. That was design. Tuning is with the balance and calibration. Eruptive implosion. So, well, initiation. The implosion is a multiplication that's multiplying. It's not an explosion, it's an implosion, it's imploding. Like when the sperm enters the oval and implodes and it starts to crack down multiple polarities at the same time, forming each one for its own circuits, getting to form its own organ and circuit. Yeah? I don't know which words you like more. Of course, speed. We all love to go fast. Of course. I love speed. I and speed, and I also love to do nothing. Courage, well, initiation, ignition. Yeah, beautiful, right? When you're working with nine characters at the same time, or have people from all around the world in United Nations with different, they have different verses. You are operating with all these words at the same time meanings, and you may come with a word that is synonymous but has affinity to all of them. Of course, it is important. And sometimes a humble word, a simple word that comes from your heart, that is in unison with the heartbeat, or the pulse of all, is more important than a sophisticated word, because it's a word that's being used on a daily basis, every day, more or less. It's more meaningful to life than an extraordinary intellectual university degree, professional. We could go and search for a word that's going to free us all so we can all understand what is all this about. We should do strong, deep research. Maybe we need to study 7 degrees, 14, study the whole multiverse. Maybe we can find that. We can find that word that's going to bring peace around the world and wealth. What is it? Maybe it's on the Chinese dictionary or the Sanskrit and not here. It's most with the noble Sujan, where intelligence comes from. The intelligence comes from being noble, right? So you cannot build artificial intelligence if it's not noble. So novelty has much to do with reality. You are part of the entity's value to give back, to return. You're not you're not really asking to take. So you take more. No, you're in connection with the people, and from the people you are taking to the source, and you are watching what's the reality, the truth that's happening really in actuality, so we can prepare to bring something better. But if you want to create something worst, to take over other countries, you might think, no, so our people doesn't die. But then you will China agree, and Russia and Iran? Will the countries that are even the enemies agree that if we are creating artificial intelligence to create weapons of mass destruction, so what is we'll just go to kill the leader? Then we will have to create artificial intelligence without metal, so it's not, and so on, so far, putting so much money into that when we can really put money on human exploration and human intelligence as well, and artificial intelligence to grow and prosper. So, are we going to be all in the same page, or are we going to invest in fights because only a few are angry and want to be I mean, this is the problem having too much men together. They become gay. They start to hate women so much, you know. Your father was never there with you either, so you need the male energy. And you just want wars. Because what does masculine energy do when it's all alone as adults that have not grown and matured pretty much, right? In the godly concept of God. You tell me, if I was surrounded by a woman, castrated woman that cannot do anything but be around kids and just go like a companion there with hiding, yeah? All their lives hiding. This woman with you shouting to you, because what is this woman gonna do? Do you think they're nice? They're in the phone all the time with their black blankets. They don't want to know anything about kids. They're talking and talking. They put the phone under their blanket and they're walking the streets, walking with their blanket. These kids don't want to know anything about this woman. I would also become gay, but not gay in the good sense of loving my beautiful masculine body out of my vanity of loving myself so much and man like me. No, the whole thing is just so sick. You might think you're a good this is the only thing you learn. Like that dog that needs freedom, that needs to understand, that has the power to be. Wherever gets stuck with. Now, I want to role play again. I want to role play again. Policize for and China is really investing in taking Taiwan. It's not investing in the freedom of its people to explore, to express, to understand why Taiwan is Taiwan. And if you have people from China that want to express with us, then let some of our people as well express with people from China. Would it be good just to let go of all these right and left problems for 10 years or the next 10, 15 years? Give power to the other side so we don't have to think about all these problems and we can just think. The leaders are going to continue investing in campaigns. They are not going to be investing for their people to bring note to what is they have in the records. So it's analyzed on a monthly basis for their own map. On every map and every layer of their own choice they belong, right? And you have that, which is already a lot of work as a leader to if you like to be for the next 10 or 15 years, unless you are too bad. Um, I don't care the past of Donald Trump or Melania right now. I have my past as well. I have respect a lot of children and I would love to be with my children. That I see them in my dreams, an illusion that I am building myself, that I'm going to be with them very soon. for certain relations I had. I've seen my daughter multimedia this month, past month, after 8 years. So I've been for the first time having connection with the social worker uh, from the last social worker last year as well. So this brought another passage to relate with them in my own brain from a reality. In reality, people treat me like shit. All right. That's my reality. I am humiliated every day. I'm not humiliated to walk 3 hours. I have to push a car with food. And I am in a beautiful, powerful scenario. I am also, you know, I am bringing into balance and tuning and calibrating what is the cover of myself. Why I'm being ghosted or ignored? Am I being carnage for something to work? Am I just ignored? I'm a nobody with no rights. Am I just moving? Does everybody seems to agree? Why people like me don't have values? If you're thinking all week just for one thing or 3 months, then you don't get paid because you're relaxed. Yeah, but that's your their values, their spiritual values and spiritual retreats. They're new forms to be cataloged with words as we enter this generation through you, through the future generation to create these words and values to have this income because it does take a lot of energy and education as well. In my school, they would take us to the monastery in Santa Maria de los Rosales, the school of the Prince of Spain, called Holy Mary of the Roses or the Rosals, I don't know. We wouldn't go to see a palace or a museum, never that I remember. We would go to a monastery of nuns. We went to a monastery of priests. Another time, the bus was waiting for so long. So I was always very naughty, and I was raised to be free and do whatever I want as long as I was respecting others to a certain degree. Uh, and, and until I learned if it was really respecting or not. Uh, Not just what I wanted. I came out of the bus. I don't know, it was 10. I don't know. Because they were having discussions and discussions, waiting another half an hour. We were having a lot of fun in the bus. Um, don't take me wrong. I have more, I have my values to have fun with my friends. I didn't go to school to learn or be sitting in a class. I was happy to see my friends and joke and that. But I was worried for the teachers and I could feel the tension. Um, So I walk off the driver's to stay, but I didn't listen to the driver because you have your calibration there and your balance. So You want to know? You have the right to know. So the teacher explained you. Um, I went again when I saw the priest coming again. I don't know whether we were there for 1 hour. I don't have a the I will ask the teacher again and go back, reply. Um, well, they don't let us go because they don't want girls to it. The monastery of priests doesn't allow women. I said, but we're not women. We're children. And she said, yeah, we are trying to convince them. We can't come. We came from so far away. We already had a meeting through because uh, and that was my teacher of a school of 2,300 children. I want you to know how every child has been raised from the school they come from. In the school of the prince, love us to have a sense of spirituality and go to visit the spiritual people who gave their lives in prayer. So we went back. I then, when the priest came again, that's when I took again and walk again. And said the teacher told you to sit down. Yeah, but now the priest has come, so I walked down because I was a brat to do what I wanted until a higher authority would tell me. And I just stood there listening, and because I knew the teachers said to me and approved when I said we're just children, we're not women. I didn't know what sexuality was. Um, I remember the priest looked at me as if I was the devil. And I looked at him, like, I'm just a girl. I'm just a child. Like, what's the difference? He realized there that it was not allowed because of a reason. So it would break their prayer or their state of being. They have these rules. It didn't matter from what order it came, and we don't know why. They said yes and then no. But our priest, the Catholic Church, will go to the Vatican and have a higher status by being in connection with the teachers of religion for 2,300 kids. We were also being passed that a few of this generation from this year to that year will have, you know, they were seeing if they were preparing important children in behalf of others who don't have a voice, right? And they also had their beliefs. So, what better place to take them than with our nuns and our priests? I was very grateful because, okay, whatever, well, with the nuns, and your question was the difference between the nuns and the priests. So, they were being respectful actually for us and for themselves. All right. Such a simple moment to have a lifetime to understand on a spiritual sense. And be inside a monastery. In the old times, every family will want to have every family that could afford an education, have a child as a doctor, another child that will play music on the piano, and inspire. the family and in the parties, a doctor, a lawyer you have to have, and also a priest of a nun. So you get closer to God. But have a spiritual retreat in a good families. But the whole world could also have done as well. The whole world. Create beautiful places to study from the divine, to create beauty, grace. You cannot ask society, when is it that you stop creating poets? When is it that you stop creating those beautiful buildings? What is it that happened? Where did you stop initiating each other? Just went all fast. It's not just the cover. What's happening from the inside of yourself? Yeah. How you get to create, how you get to destroy by wishing destruction on others. So, yeah, we do need to have a protection as we evolve and a common sense towards where we are going. Yeah. So, this is what's going to happen. This is where we're going. Or we prevent this together, or we will create more prevention to create more wars in most horrible ways and forms to ignore humanity's growth and flowering and the rain that goes through. So it's been writing by so many people, right? I happen to write from a river or an apple tree, and then I find out, oh, these words are in the last page of the Bible. But I do remember spirits, souls, before being born, and maybe it's my imagination. I have the reason to doubt, so does not mean evidence to that it was another soul saying. When I say I'm not to write, I cannot compare to the person that's been writing and telling stories and just wishes to, because has a good voice. Okay, um, loves to share, is a good lover. Look, I have nothing to do with, I don't know. I can learn all that, of course, maybe better than anyone, because it's the first time. We will look to the teenagers, how beautiful they are doing it in their expression and exploration, because they have the spark to do it fresh, and they will inspire us again. I am old. I'm tired of all this. I don't find excitement telling stories. Doesn't matter the audience. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking in the interactive storytelling we have. Not to be watched and observed, because people won't understand what is that unless you are role playing with the same energy field. It's totally different. It's not a sales marketing or what's going on to present a business or convincing anyone. You only learn role playing when you're role playing and you get to investigate and study your own and create your own. Nobody needs to tell you how it works. It's all there already. And you create your own from there, whatever you want. And that's it. Now, the policy for artificial intelligence is as well very important. Until a certain number, note this, until a certain number, I just take notes in my brain, so it just comes random. I have not aligned all my notes together how to create this story. I don't go write it. It's just so I start to open up, the memory comes out. Some stories. It is not a mind manipulation, so you feel you are an intimate part of yourself as a human. They are just parallel stories that bring reference, anecdotes to the daily life we have. Even if we don't have dogs, we understand that. So, if you have a platform of internet that covers the world, platform of internet that covers the world or your country, you will have the equation for that, right? How does it work for human rights? Having each country uh, domination for their own. And at the same time, if you're not fulfilling, more or less, because we're still evolving, all right? We cannot destroy everyone because not evolving. But you have to evolve from that, all right? You're being forced because you're forcing your people to not evolve. And that is a prostitution of humanity in its lowest form. Don't think that everyone is on your side because nobody would like to be born in Iran or in a place where there is no freedom and you can die if you don't follow a dictator. So, of course, Trump has the right to do that. Now, we also have the right to move on with our creativity. Because if we have a sickness, it is a sickness. The Arab world thinks it's not a sickness. Yeah, it's your brothers because you share a religion. No, this is not a religion. This is a sickness. They won't bring capacity that they invested on a war, that they invested in. And now the Jews gone completely extreme as well. Because they have thousands of years of these problems of war. So they want to finish completely with this problem. So the delusion is understood, right? The collective delusion is absolutely understood. You're the chosen one. Let's look, you're the chosen. Okay, you're the chosen one of your people. You're the chosen one of your people. You're the chosen one for so the leaders of their nations listens to you as well. Who cares? Go to TikTok, man. You might have more followers there. Is to have some respect for your people, have respect for yourself. You've never heard that you could go without a leash and enjoy life without having to force? Because you're so excited. You will keep pushing it. So if you've known freedom, you wouldn't be fighting against any leash. You will wish for others to communicate as well without the need of all this violence and mistreatment of people's rights and beauty. Beauty to create with one another, to perceive, to connect, to be alone if you want, to be part of your family, and also to have that time of your own. So I still don't know what is the name of the leader of Iran as a person that is coming to talk. All right. In the name of his people, in the name of himself as a leader in a situation that's needed. Everyone's claiming victory because China's investing on the weapons, but they're on no one's side. We all know that from day one. We know it's evil. We know it's not good. Yeah, it's not good. You're investing in war. We could already have this map going on. All these ideas would have come anyways with common sense. It would have come one way or another with your support, willingly, or yeah, you still have a lot of percentage coming that multiplies back, all right? With the policies in one way or another. You could have made them yourself. Now, human rights and artificial intelligence. So OpenAI, the other one was taken out of the government. Let's remember that in the same way Venezuela was taking over with aggression, the rest of the world can be taken over, right? And those times are, yeah, like you take over children, you take over women, more or less, everyone is in the same page. We're evolving from that, yeah, to create arts, to create through all the arts and sports and all our freedoms and having less and less perversion and more love. Yeah, it might seem perverted. You go and figure out. Eventually, we don't have so much piranhas in the near future because people will be so busy creating their own. When everyone is middle class, they will wish to be ultra, to go into outer space. They will wish their children to have the power of being a multimillionaire. They will have other frontiers to conquer. The middle class, where everyone has the same rights in this planet to enjoy, is something we can create together. All right, so eliminating all these conflicts. When you see that your percentage is multiplying, you might think, oh, they're taking all of this from us and distributing to the rights of the world because you've taken it from them. So you're generating all this money from the people's information and the privacy We can see already in the layers of the map where anyone can invest as well, and how you learn to have credit and trust. Yeah, that's the exchange. One day I give you this, another day you give me that. Maybe it's through money or not, maybe it's unconditional, but those rules have been set already. But how can it be that it's only a few have all the credit in the world? People like me, artists, women, don't have that trust. You will feel more powerful to relate with powerful relations, right? So, well, reason is not everything. So, how many stories would be told? How many stories would be understood? How much money would I need to have my kids? Right now, I don't I've been rejected from so many organizations. I have been rejected from so many rights. This is why I can't ask more. Just imagine going to Multiverse, create a character. When you play all these super powerful characters and more power, all the powers that you can create characters with, you start to create crazy characters or characters you have curiosity. And sometimes you start to love the old lady character, the you find beauty strange, where you've never seen beauty before, and talk through other perspectives of love. So it's not really the power you think it is in a scenario where there is freedom and love all over, power in all its dimensions and forms. You will really understand the older self of yourself in your mother and father. What they left for you, that's so good. I knew my mother and father. I will never be myself as long as you're still my mother and father. You would always have the last word. You would always want to be superior. It won't matter if you get killed. Why listen to your daughter? Unless I make you laugh and I make you feel superior, then you will love me, yeah? Because I'm making you happy. That's the only way I can wash away your superiority. I always thought I want to be like you when I grow up. I want to support my children, not take from them. So I have it on me. But they gave me the freedom to think. They gave me all the resources and their love and their pain as well to solve it. I was very wealthy, not super rich, but I was very wealthy in Manhattan, near Central Park, married to a doctor in surgery assistance in the Upper East Side. And there's where I created the reason to the credit to see it in the map. There's the subway. because they killed my father. They didn't know what was credit. So I learned from the pain of the murder of my father. I learned from the pain they given me because I loved the. They had a relation, a generation where I was born, and that's it. I didn't need to be poor or suppressed to create. Yeah, some people believe that. I don't know. I like to not know what's gonna happen. I like to not know. If my kids would be somewhere I know are safe at least, we were going away from this place and we were free to be together now. And Zane was close to me and Alice was showing the way. They were always together. Alice, such a good girl. I remember everything. Do I know everything? No. That is the beauty of being here. Knowing we don't know. Having the communion with the uncertainty. At least having that suspense to listen to the other. What's going to happen? What are going to say? What are they going to say? Why are we here to? We can only innovate together from our own. I like to hear the human side of the leader of Iran, from his vulnerability as well, as I expose my vulnerability. Doesn't have to talk about his private life. He will never want to give his position now that he has it. Maybe they're just hiding it because they don't want to look weak or powerless. They will not want to lose on a debate. They will like to keep on fighting because they're hurt. They will keep hurting because they're hurt. They've been hurt creating all this. Their prayers are made of hurt. They have their reasons, of course. Yeah. The rest of Europe doesn't want to invest in more wars, all right? I thank Putin to have stopped this war for the Holy Week. I'm thinking of the women in Russia, their men, and the younger generation, and the activation that he's thinking for his people, the discourse that he's preparing, that he knows. So, our conversation is a form of prayer, moving beyond reason with reason. There is a plan, there is a divine plan. We unfold the planification of this story that we've given ourselves before coming to be alive. I also heard many people shouting. but it's not the only outcome. No, no, don't do it. Well, don't listen to that. People's judgment. What do they know? If they do not want to speak, they don't have a leader. In worst case scenario, would they have a leader that speaks or just a picture? What is it you want for your people? What are the points you want to do? What does your people think? They are afraid to be killed by their dictator or by other people, other culture. Well, we already have the solutions. It seems there has been agreements from the highest courts, and it seems it's not debatable. All right. So the militaries of the world align with NATO to protect these rights because they are upgrading their human rights with their own people to a certain degree within their own culture, within their own prayers. It is debatable how far we go with so much freedoms, of course. This is why we talk about it and we correct certain new laws and see again. So, listening to the younger generation can be much more refreshing than having us talking about and doing the same things. So, do we want to follow what our parents were? Hmm? I love to have seen the children of his YouTube channel. He's a conservative from UK. I don't want to say names right now. It's very inspiring to see their teenagers talking and about political things that concern to their age with the laws in Australia, um, how the son with 13-year-olds says the nanny stay. No, I like my nanny, but I don't need a nanny stay. But not everyone has the same education. Many kids are abandoned. Many parents don't know how to pay attention to their kids. They don't have the brain. They don't have the perception in the brain to communicate with their kids. If they don't perceive, they cannot relate. They can relate through other forms, of course, but not to the problems of the day. And I myself have many laws against me to recover my kids. Some offices in government uh, cannot think by themselves as well, because that's how these offices take money from government. And who thinks about these laws when there's so many problems in the world and not enough passage to move? We can see in the map regenerate new jobs instead of restraining people's evolution, especially those who are in welfare or have are the last having problems us other ways of being. They're just being judged. Some good mothers I've seen, they take in the children. They may be more artistic or hippish. Single mothers. I've been seen horrors, how they promote foster children. They don't promote to help families because they get more money. This is something that should be totally taken out and transformed. We can see this all around the world at the same time. If a kid has made a robot that can go and deliver the mail and then can multiply throughout the world through the tech globe map, the tech globe atlas very quickly because the influencers would have gathered this information. They say, hey, I got this kid, man. The industry would give passage instead of having all this middle class pretending to be superior to cut all the evolution because it comes from a town where you know you're just nobody. Middle class is a huge problem. They're learning to handle values, and at the same time, they only care of what everyone thinks in their jobs. So it's just better abstract everyone because you are more important in your position. These are mechanics where the system needs to swipe away. You'll see more transfer of abundance when people are cooperating together and trusting and exercising. Now, you might see a person that's totally corrupted, but their children will be better. Some societies are totally, they're never going to change, but their children will have access to think by themselves. All right? You might not be able to think by yourself. You're too damaged. And only the pain can speak or hide, like the devil does. Our inner demons will hide. Won't confess our problems. Not if you're a Muslim, of course. If you're a Christian, and you will even joke about it. But you're among Christians, of course. There's still a lot of Christians that are so judgmental. All these people who judging Melania. Like, look, she's the first lady. Whatever you say right now, all right? She's beautiful. Whatever. She's supporting all the women in the world. Let's see what she's supporting the African woman, the Afro American children to go to Africa one day with their fellow brothers and sisters, feel cool about it, have their mansion into a village, something the other party was starting to give credit for their university. Not just the few victims from the Epstein files, the younger generation. So there's a lot of work and power to do there until it lasts. We don't know. We don't know because there were bad things that happened in the past and this whole agglomeration of hatred without compassion. No one has forgiveness. No one is the Pope, like a saint, welcoming. You're all children of God. You're all doing your best. And that's how people do their best because they're being trusted to do their best. But you will see all this mechanism of people pushing, and like, it's a trend. You will see how they will let go the power into the virtual reality realms to create, because while they want to keep people hostage in X, in all the platforms with these trends of being liked, to hate others, you're taking care of your tribe or your followers, keeping the narrative. It's like, hey, 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 where are we going? Looks maxing is another word, right? So of course it is great to just work and, but this guy looks very handsome as well. Hmm? This guy that talks about something like stupidity maxing. If it's an ugly man saying that, it wouldn't look as cool, right? But maybe you got a lot of money and you got a beautiful wife because of that. But you still look for a beautiful young wife. So the beauty does inspire, however it's created. Look at all the women from around the world wanting to be beautiful, to be validated, because they have learned it's the way to, only way to have power. So you gotta go to university, invest in your looks, and pretend to be stupid if you want to have superpower. That's the higher Q, right? We can all do that. We can all do that. I love to play sports. I used to show off in a podium in my 20s. I invested so much in just in to enjoy the moment in moment, enjoy life with Prada, with all the brands, and my so much money to look good. Dancing was a form of keeping my body beautiful and to oxygenize and exhort the daily stress or weekly stress. So that will also give me a lot of vitality and make me feel more beautiful instead of becoming jealous or having bad thoughts or energy because it gets stagnated. That's not my own self. It's my own self creating these demons. The devil does exist. I have seen the manifestation of the devil through people as a layer. The people are possessed. It's an invisible layer. Since I'm 17, I will see different patterns. So I didn't sleep as much. So maybe it was my mind living in a dream. I didn't see it because I don't have visual. I am more kinesthetic. So we all have different form of interpreting throughout the senses. Some people have more audio. We have all the senses, but some have more or one or the other from many lives. And this consciousness repeats as a form that's been already sharpened. It's natural in your nature of perception. You can have transported, you can have transmute through image and project and pass a word and a meaning without being there as a ghost. Yeah, I'm bringing the image of Holy Mary because you've prayed to Holy Mary so much. You become that image, you are no more. You've never been yourself. You've always been yourself. And you still believe this message could be passed in Ukraine because communism doesn't allow the flourishment, at least to believe that you can, even if you never could. And all societies are oppressive from all these judgments. You suddenly come out. You come out. So an awakening death. And your friend is there like, hey, we have so many lives where we meet when we die. Like we might make at least one life where we just don't end our lives, right? Yeah, but you have to make me remember. You have to make me remember. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna sound crazy, don't you think? So well, but other spirits. Yeah, but you like the metaphysical. I'm like, yeah, but because I have not much reality to be with. All right, ended up praying for that as a Christian. What else you got left when you lost everything? And in Greek mythology, wisdom and poverty become above poverty to gain spiritual wisdom as well as through other understandings. Something beautiful happens as with the Sufis that sing in the known, just in their hearts. It moves faster from there, taking possession by loving so much in other ways, still believing. You you hardly believe so much that you become that reality. You build that reality, even from a spiritual concept before life. You've all chosen what you wish to do. We all have given ourselves. I have not given myself, I've been pushed. So I don't want to be born again. It's fucking hell. It's just, I guess it was God that said, what about if you really believe in a kingdom of heaven in earth? You must build it yourself and fight for it and work for it. I said, no. Like, well, what is the meaning then? How would you value something you have not gained? So this is in our conversation. Not only through tortures, you must learn this. I said to myself. So I must learn from not having people in jail. And another soul said, it was like another soul, maybe feminine. Just because all talking at the same time with same vibe, yeah. And it's not a soul, it's like entity. I don't see figures. Like we all belong to this upbringing. That is what you wish to do in earth while being alive. It's your role. That is your piece of the puzzle. That is your instrument in the orchestra of the divine. I said, but we're gonna touch our horrors, you know? You're gonna see the worst side of me as I've seen the worst side of you. We're gonna meet with the earthly boundaries. Yeah, well, will also remind me of that, okay? Well, you see, she remembers the earthly bounds, the heaviest, darkest that brought us down again and again, dying with this, giving heritage. And so, yeah, we don't want that. We don't want that anymore. We don't want this anymore. Everybody agreed. Oh, the Pope, you want to be a Pope, really? Somebody who really, come on, you can be free and all that. Yeah, I love the scriptures. I would do that again. I love the scriptures. I love the studies of the of the of the Bible. It's all there. And somebody, some other entity, it's been thousands of years more, hundreds thousands more. Yeah, but it's so beautiful, you know? There's more. I said, what do I know? What do I know to talk about war? I've never talked in my life. Really? I will go there before. I will be born before to teach her the words of meditation, the words from the metaphysical, to be reasonable, to not be judged as crazy. And my people, well, they're alive, they might not remember, but they study philosophy, become master, professor in the University of Philosophy in India. And without going to university, I've gone in the Multiversity in India, how it was called when I went there and I was 13, and learned from his discourse. We would go to his discourse and just sit in silence. And I remember I never felt like I was a rival, but before he died and he was in silence and I was 17, and when he died, he realized that I was not a rival. Because I was still very Catholic. I was still saying, this is, that's not how you treat women. That's not how you abandon children in the commune. That's why I will always have my second thoughts as a Christian teenager. I had to teach kids. You don't do that. This is, you've not grown. This, you gotta look at each other and all the people that are around you who came also before you for this moment in life. That if you think, because you're in China to protect your heritage, but at the same time, you kill your emperors, you're the leader. Understand the actuality we are right now as well, respecting the natures of Asia. For each person, you have beauty to transform in its best outcome and enlightening source. You might remember yourself if you were a monk, or you were a tyrant emperor who castrated your own spiritual masters because you wanted to dominate. You don't want your people to have spiritual freedom, but there is value also in it. My mother made a lot of money with it, with the air. It was not an industry where they will make things where my mother worked. She said, I'm the best saleswoman. I sell nothing. So there is also market in that. See, governments have around the world invested in industry and things. You can also get a lot of money by investing in humanity and what is the antimatter, what is between us, to enjoy life. You can also multiply money with it. You can make a lot of money with it. And artificial intelligence will be the best of its best to take us into other places, create stations. We will communicate with our intuition without so much noise or without having to explain over and over again through our ears the same. So we could have a book that is rounded and puzzle it up. Yeah, just puzzle it up with the Arabs, the Asian, what happened in these 2000 years since Jesus died, why Jesus have been in all this Western society, why Rene Descartes could create the doubts for us to evolve scientifically, astrologically, astronomically, and people that study chemistry were not killed again. People that study herbiology and pharmaceutical farm for in Spanish is en la en la farmacia. So all the medications, they were not killed. So the Bible created all these problems, but at the same time, the impulse of its freedom created all this genius who sacrificed themselves to innovate from one simple man. And the Jews here in the back, right? So, how are the Jews going to become the chosen one? That's a deep question, right? Could talk about it another time, but how are you going to initiate the world to become yours? So, wars of the old. And the same question to the Arabs and to the Chinese and the Russians and the poor in Africa and South America, or those who believe to be high class or different or all equal, more acceptable. We can go on and on in crazy riddles, in labyrinths of the mind and reason. Because yes and no through all the polarities, like those machines that their balls go in this labyrinth. First the machine will hit the ball, and again, ping this, go from left to right, because it goes here, goes there, ping pong. to have a more distinguished form of understanding. You see how important we are all in the world to see the world? You cannot see it in a little map here. It's huge for one room. You need to see all these rivers. You need to see in a huge zoom every town. You need to see huge how important it is. We need to see somebody who has discovered something so everybody can have it, any form of energy. We need to see the influencers talking about what's the best form of energy, not because it's your industry and they're in your group for your benefit. Other industries will apply it as well. And if I have a percentage, of course I would like to share it. But if I knew that I would be just speaking alone and just die and not have the honor of my children to know that their mother did something for them. That's all I wish for them and my mother, my sister as well, to feel, hey, because your family makes you feel important. I've not abandoned you. It's not that I don't want to be there. It's not that I don't want to send you money. Of course, I would love to be with my mother and my children. Why am I so stuck in here? It might seem pleasant and beautiful. It's not enough with the love of the person who brought your life. Just to be present. Yeah. Giving all my life just to look crazy and abandoned. I have not abandoned my family. I have given them more than anyone. You cannot be so given, you won't have any cover to protect yourself because everything's taken off. It doesn't matter how much power you have to regenerate and forgive and regenerate. They will soon, very soon, take everything. If you can't protect yourself, I can sue so many people with so much evidence. I got tired. So yeah, I will teach others. Yeah, I can just do it in 2 afternoons. Upload the evidence, tell the story, a synopsis, the chronology, and another afternoon. If I need the money, I will just take, and if not, I will just skip until trial or make my balance. Is it more? Is more important for the earth? Is more important? This is not for winning the money. This is for recycling. These landlords have no idea what the Western world is. They think they can do what they do in their countries. Hell yeah, they have to pay. You don't do this to anyone. Take all their possessions and throw them in the streets because you want new people to have 500 pounds because you're a new agent. It's what they do to immigrants, immigrants to immigrants. It's horrific. Like so much damage. And you can go lower. You can go lower and lower. It doesn't matter. If I win a court case, I will lose the stability of the universal credit and I have to pay my rent again and I will lose all the money again paying the rent because the universal and like this goes on. It's no way out of this. There's no way out without your family, without your friends, your relations, without the purity of the people that you were every decade together in India and Ibiza and here and there from school. You lose your cover, you can become a problem. People might think you are resented because you don't have the stamina that holds your power. You're not a strong vessel. You might have strong spirit and philosophical stories and ideas from imaginative common sense. But you don't have strong vessel. You might be resented socially. You might not have values. So it's normal that you lost your high class and you cannot have that economy again, all that cover, just to be relaxed, yes? And nobody gets paranoid. I could care less. Look, I love abundance. I grew up with it all my life. I've no resentment towards the abundance of this world. I've been always in national libraries to be closer to the beauty that's been architected there. So, well, with that, I leave you with your own possessions and domains, the meaning of your life, your frequencies. What parts in the world you love more to have a mansion into a village? You like to look at the world and hold hands, and perhaps we can see that map of the world in our own continent, or because maybe we'll go to Algeria and see the map of the world there and see which where could we do a mansion into a village and study the you can study the terrain, the people, the language, the colors, the arts, the culture, the religions, the nomads of the Sahara. I love that. I really love the and it's just I have so much imagination really like the top of the cherry, the last dream for me is to be in Africa, bring water to where it's needed. That's the culmination of all my dreams. So don't call me a dreamer because you are not a dreamer, all right? Dream, like William said when in one of his discourse, The Power to Dream. The only William of this generation, of course. So that we know as famous, powerful. So look around and get whatever best you have from your own. You like to talk, and you don't like anyone telling you what to do. Well, you have the freedom to offer for someone if you like to talk with Till Swan or the girl that does her makeup and talks about horror, what got you to stop, you know, become more human. Of course, you had other women, but we can see how you talk with other women. Like, yeah, yeah, you're consenting. You, like, yeah, just it's not really giving. Still, doesn't matter if they studied, they create their book. All right, we are transitioning into this new system, and I thank you because you are there in between yes and no's. We're all here, even those who don't listen and hear or see. They also belong to this generation. They will see all these people going around the world at the same time. think they also have the possibility to create their mansion into a village as well and return to their normal job, having the best of both worlds. Peace.